Use Real Deal Sports Talk's promo code RDST. And for the first month, with my code RDST, get $4.99 off the first month of your silver membership. Definitely check it out, guys. We got a few more openings, a few more team slots open in the Real Deal Sports Talk Fantasy Football League on NFL.com. So look for that information on the page as far as the league password and name so you can get signed up in that before September 4th. We'll do a live draft, and I will broadcast that draft live on the show as it happens, giving out the picks and what I'm thinking and where I'm going with what's going on. So far on the show, we've broken down two of the divisions. We've broken down the NFC North. We've broken down the AFC North. Okay. Today we're going to do the NFC East and the AFC East. We're going to break down the divisions, see what they did last year. I'm going to give you my predictions of how I think the divisions play out this year. So let's just get into it. We'll start with the NFC. I'm an NFC guy. If I had to choose a side, it's probably because as I was a kid, the NFC was so dominant. It was in that stretch where they won like 13 straight Super Bowls. Plus the Lions are an NFC team. So my loyalties are kind of the NFC in that way. So NFC East, I'm just going to give you my predictions of how I think the division plays out. Then we'll talk about what the teams did last year, some players they got going this year, things like that. All right, so the way I see it playing out, I have the Giants taking the division this year, okay? Coming in second and third, it could either be Washington or Dallas. That could flip-flop either way, depending on how the seasons go. I do not see Washington being a strong team this year. I see them being about average, just like they were when they won the division last year. And I got Philadelphia bringing it up in the rear. Now you hear my dog barking in the background. Philadelphia bringing up the rear in this division this year. So let's go ahead and get into it. We'll talk about what they did last year, and then we'll go over the rosters a little bit and just kind of give some examples of what's going on here before we get out of here today. So last year, total offense, NFC East, top team in the division were the Giants. They had the 8th ranked offense last year in the league. Eagles came in 12th. Redskins were 17th, and the Cowboys were 22nd. It pretty much mirrors that as far as their passing and rushing games go. And then when you go back and you look at their total defense for the division, defense in the division was pitiful. And really I only see the Giants getting any better this year in the division. I know Washington likes to think because they have Josh Norman they're going to do something, but they're going to be just as pitiful as they were last year. Total defense, Dallas Cowboys were top in the division at 17th in the league last year, and everybody else was 28th or lower, with the Giants actually having the worst defense in the NFL last year on total defense. That's why I said they're really going to be the only team you see get any better this year. They brought in a lot of free agents. They're not going to be 32nd. Are they going to be in the top 10? Probably not. But you're going to see them get better this year. And really on the defensive side of the ball, even in as far as their passing defense, Dallas was in the top 5, but the rest of the division was 25 or worse in passing. And they were all, below 20 in the league as far as their rush defense last year. So this is a division that's going to beat itself up. They're going to take care of most of the work for everybody. Now, with the Giants, you got Eli Manning. You got Odell Beckham Jr. in there this year. You're going to have guys at the receiver position and the running back position like, let's go down the list here. Where are we at? Running backs. You're going to see Jenkins have a better year this year, I think. Another quality year. Shane Vereen, don't know what he's really going to do. Andre Williams should give him some more quality time there at running back this year. Weapons as far as tight ends, Larry Donald should have a better year for him this year. I mentioned Odell Beckham. Victor Cruz is going to be maybe a third wide receiver. You're not going to really see him being a 2. Dwayne Harris is going to be a solid return man again for him. And who's the other? Sterling Shepard, the rookie out of Oklahoma. Expect big things from him. He's doing good so far in the preseason, but with the coverage and the way people are going to send their attention to Odell Beckham and guys like that, you're going to see something different. for Sterling Shepard. He's got some speed, he's got some good hands, he's coming out of a quality program. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, they picked up a Janoris Jenkins. They picked up an Olivier Vernon. They picked up some other quality veteran free agents. They spent a lot of money on the defensive side of the ball. So they have nowhere really but to go up as far as that goes. Trying to see, let's see, linebacker situation. You know, they're average at best at linebacker. Free safety, defensive tackles. Well, put it this way. They're just not going to be 32nd in the league this year. Pierre-Paul should have a better season now that he's more acclimated to using that mangled hand of his. Rogers Cromartie should have a better year this year, hopefully with Jenkins on the other side, because he won't have to take everybody's top guy. They brought in Leon Hall, the free agent. Eli Apple's going to give him some depth as a young guy. So the Giants have pieces in place to really, if they can, go ahead and take that next step and win the division. The Redskins, their big splash, they brought in a rookie receiver and Josh Norman. Not going to help them that much. They didn't get a long-term contract with their quarterback Kirk Cousins worked out. So he's going to be moving on. The Eagles are pitiful all around, and we know what's going on in Dallas. So I have nothing else to say but go Giants, go G-Men, go out there, earn it this year. Don't lose so many games by less than a touchdown or in the last 2 minutes of the game, and you'll have yourself a division title. Now, the counterpart division, the AFC East. This division could go a number of different ways depending on how you see it. It's going to be a tight race this year with everybody except Buffalo. I'm sorry, Buffalo needs a better coach. Rex Ryan, Rob Ryan, get rid of the Ryans. They need to go into TV. They need to be characters. They need to be done. Buffalo, to me, is going to be bringing up the rear of this division. They will be bringing up the caboose. They will be in last place. The Jets and Dolphins will be right there in the middle of the pack. Could go either way, depending on some breaks. If the Jets play like they did last year with the young defense they have, if they can let that rookie Lee run around, keep him clean with his speed, they're solid on the defensive line. They have weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They have Decker. They have Brandon Marshall. They have Foote this year. Fitz is back. And they were a couple plays away from making the playoffs last year. So they're right in the middle of the pack. The Dolphins are going to be much improved this year. Adding Williams with Wake coming back, if he's healthy, and Sue, they're going to have a solid defensive front. Now the back end is going to have to pick up the heat. Byron Maxwell's going to have to do something. He can't just be, I was on Seattle's roster. That's not going to do it this year. So the way I got it playing out, I got the Patriots taking the division. They have a model that works. Sure, Brady's out. Patriots will probably be 1-3, 2-2 when he comes back. And again, I have him as my offensive player of the year. He hadn't played yet in preseason. He drove the Pats right down against Carolina and threw a 30-something yard touchdown. Dagger. He's a competitor. Expect him to be ready when he comes back week 5. And expect the Patriots to take off after that point. So I got the Patriots winning. Last year, the Patriots were pretty much statistically the top team in everything in the division. They were ranked 6th in total offense in the league. Jets were 10, Bills were 13, and the Dolphins were pitiful at 26. The Dolphins will be better on offense this year. They were the top passing team in the league, in the division last year. They were 5th in the league. The Jets were 13th in the league. The Dolphins were 19th, and the Bills were 28th last year. Expect that to be pretty much the same this year. As far as rushing, the Bills had the number 1 rushing team in the NFL last year. They're going to run the ball again a lot this year. They don't have a choice. Yes, Tyrod Taylor is a good quarterback in the NFL, but the weapons they have there in Buffalo, Watkins needs to be healthy. Then he needs to have some dog in him, because he doesn't. He's a finesse receiver. The Jets were 10th in the league in rushing. They lost Chris Ivory. They brought in Foote. Foote's a little older. Don't expect them to be in the top 10 in rushing again this year. The Dolphins will be better in rushing this year. They were 23rd in the league last year. Expect them to break into at least the top 20. And the Patriots, their running back situation is disastrous. They were at 30th in the league last year. Expect them to, maybe get up to 25-20 area at best. Total defense, the Jets obviously had the best defense in the division last year, and expect them to also have the best defense in the division this year. Patriots did work last year for a team that didn't have a whole lot on defense, and they should drop this year from where they were last year. They finished the league 9th in total defense. I'd expect them to probably still be in the top 15, but they will drop statistically onto the defensive side of the ball. Losing a Chandler Jones is a big thing. Yes, they traded him away, but his production will be missed. It's going to make things harder on a Rob Ninkovich on the other side. Buffalo had the 19th ranked defense. Don't expect them to be any better. Like I said, the coaches need to go. And Miami's 25th ranked defense will totally only get better if that back end can perform. Because the front end, the front seven, will do their thing. Passing, they were all pretty good as far as their pass defense goes. They were all in the top, 20 pretty much. Miami just missed that at being the 21st ranked team. And the rush defense, pretty solid on the rush defense. Again, the Jets, solid defense. Number one defense in the division. Expect the same thing this year. That's why it's going to get them into the second or third place in the division. So that's how I see those divisions breaking down. We'll, come back to that throughout the season, and I'll admit how wrong I was at the end of the season. But it's fun to talk to you guys about it. I hope that I get some feedback this week. I've gotten feedback in the past on other shows, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, especially about some of the topics we talked about tonight. I want to thank thedirtcannon.com for being the official fantasy partner of Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. I want to thank my listeners for tuning in, following me on Facebook. I always appreciate your comments and your listens. And until next time, everybody, only thing we can do is what? That's right, just be real.